guys, it's Bunny and welcome to today's video and welcome to another WWE reaction. This video was recommended by Mel Caranto and he said, "Hey Bunny, I think you might like this video called 5 Consequences of Being a WWE Wrestler." And this video is by Maven Huffman. If you don't know who Maven Huffman, he's a former WWE wrestler who has a YouTube channel and he uploads a lot about backstage secrets and like top things you didn't know about and things like. He really shares a lot of things about wrestling that you would not see on any official site out there or talked by wrestlers who are still under contract. So you should definitely check out his channel if you're interested. But if you want to see my reaction to this video, then stick around.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Hey guys, Maven here. Now, from 2001 through 2005, I had the time of my life as a WWE wrestler. Although I love every moment I spent there, inevitably there does come some consequences. Because for every good, there is going to come some bad. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the 5 worst things that came as a result of being a WWE wrestler. And trust me, the number one thing, it's something I'm still trying to come to grips with and more than likely never will. Number 5, meeting people's expectations. Now, what do I mean by that? The moment you become a wrestler, the moment that you're on TV each and every week, the moment that you have a name, people are gonna want something from you. And I'm not necessarily talking about money.
And this is not only in wrestling, in any job you do. The moment like you become like publicly famous or whatever, like people know more about you, the more people who want to like meet up with you and engage with you, especially people that you knew before but you didn't talk as much with, suddenly they are trying to become your best friends. It is so ridiculous.
Although some people do want money. What I mean is they just want a little piece of you. And trust me, it's tough after you've been on the road for days, maybe weeks at a time, and you get home and someone wants you to go to their wedding, or they want you to speak at their graduation, or they want you to do
and
anything.
Like these people, so like it's a favor.
All you want to do is rest and relax. People, they want to be around positivity. They want to be around someone that they can brag to their friends. I know so and so. I know Maven the wrestler. We were buddies when we were young. I get all that. And what makes it one of the
that is really interesting. It is fine, like people are just really nice to you at that point and they are proud of who you become and they want to associate with you. But you yourself having such a schedule and working really hard on accomplishing things in your private life, you gotta learn how to say no to these people at a specific point in time without feeling like really bad about it. But it's really hard because whenever I had to say no to people like I do care about, I do like, but they're not like my core people, you know what I mean? Like I had to say no because I had to prioritize the family and the people that are really closer to me, like my best friends and stuff, because I only had time for them when I had to do my job, which I still do.
Things that is tough to handle is knowing that when you can't meet their expectations, you then become the bad guy. There was a time in 2013 when I had lost a lot. I had lost my job with HSN, I'd lost my house, I moved to a new city where I only knew a handful of people. I was working as a bouncer in a nightclub, definitely several steps down from where I was, and to be lack of a better word, it was embarrassing. When someone approached me at that time, I just wasn't at my best. To whoever it was that I left with a bad taste in their mouth, I apologize. Now, I'm not saying if you see me, don't come up to me. Actually, please do come up to me. You make my day
so nice.
Way more than you know. Every time someone comes up to me and remembers my in-ring time or what I'm doing right now, it puts a smile on my face and I'm so thankful. Next on my list, losing your privacy. Once you start attaining a little level of fame, people inevitably, they want to know information about you. They want to know where you live, what kind of car you drive, where you work out, what restaurants you might eat at, and obviously what your phone number is. Where there's a will, there is a way. And if they want to find out bad enough, they're going to. And
it's actually really interesting to know that even WWE wrestlers had to deal with something like that, because we streamers and YouTubers, like, we are engaging one-on-one with the audience, especially as a streamer. For example, in the chat, you're literally engaging in real time with the people and they feel closer to you than a fan. Like they feel like a friend in a way, and maybe the way we portray ourselves on the internet as well. We want to be relatable, you know, but at the same time, we want to distinguish our private personal life from our professional life, and that is really difficult to do, especially for me. I had to deal with so much shit going on, and maybe also it contributes to the fact that I'm a female. And when I started my, let's call it a career, it was so difficult for me to like have that boundary with people. I was so nice, so friendly, that they mistook it for being actual IRL friends, and they went extra mile to even travel to my country without asking, and just meeting me and trying to see me everywhere. And that was very, very, very scary. Like, it's a stalking kind of level that leaves like some kind of PTSD. Like, even today, I'm really scared. Like, I'm always looking like, does anyone recognize me? So like, I don't mind people recognizing me, but I hate that stalking level where people like really go the extra mile to just be a part of your personal life.
Nothing we can do about it nowadays. We can't keep everything scrubbed off the internet. Early in my WWE career, I had an incident happen that proved to me that I had lost all my privacy, and it could have had disastrous results. But first, I need to take a break. Hey, Zach, check out that email I sent you earlier. It's right underneath my banking information, next to my birth certificate, right beside my social security card. Obviously, you're not going to be sharing that information willy-nilly.
Yeah.
But every time you get online, hackers can get a hold of your personal information and use it for nefarious purposes. And that's why it's smart to invest in a VPN. And by VPN, I mean a virtual private network. And the only one we use here is Surfshark. Surfshark is a browser extension that's extremely easy to use. It's going to work with most all of your devices, including your smartphone, laptop, computer, and more. Surfshark turns you into an anonymous user so you can browse the internet freely without having to worry about your information being tracked or stolen. On top of privacy, Surfshark gives you access to websites and content
you are giving your privacy to a shark
simply because of where you live. For example, let's say you live here in the United States and you want to use the original WWE network. Obviously, you can't use Surfshark to change.
Nah, brother. Really? I honestly couldn't do something like this. Like right now, I'm in Boston. I visit my family, obviously, but I live in Germany. And I really needed Peacock, and I couldn't get it because it's only exclusive to Americans. So I tried to use a VPN. However, you cannot only use a VPN. You need an account. So you need an account that is associated with a credit card or a bank account that is in America itself. Obviously, I couldn't have Peacock, but I did get WWE Network because it was available in Germany. So if you can actually buy like this virtual card instead of a bank account, and you like with a specific amount of money, and you just enter that as a code and you get a subscription. But that means that I have to contact someone from America to buy me these cards in America, or maybe actually I can buy them online. I have never thought about that, but it is a hassle, you know, like it's not something you just click once and the subscription keeps coming and going. Like it is definitely a hassle.
Your internet location to Australia and boom, you have the original WWE Network back. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Maven, how much is this? I already have so many subscriptions that already drain my wallet month after month. Well, none of those protect you like a nice warm hug. Surfshark will do just that, and it'll do it for $249 a month. And if you use promo code Maven, you're going to get 3 extra months for free. Now, what you get is unlimited data, speed, and protection on an unlimited number of devices. And you also get Surfshark antivirus, securing everything from your webcam to those pictures of you and your family on Christmas morning. Use my link at the top of the description to sign up for Surfshark and protect your online identity today.
Especially if you're a gamer.
Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Now that you know how to protect your privacy, let me tell you about the time I knew my privacy was gone and gone for good. Let me set the scene here. So I had just broken my leg wrestling Christian, and I was in a cast. It was late at night. I was on the porch with my girlfriend at the time. We were doing what we did every night, enjoying a nice summer's evening. Out of nowhere, a figure dressed in all black walks up onto the porch. I immediately jumped up to shield her, and he put a gun directly to my forehead. You might be thinking, well, maybe this was just an act of randomness. It was not, because he said my name. He immediately told me he wanted money. I had just bought a new car. I offered that to him. He told me he didn't want that. And as he turned to walk away, he said a couple words that would take away every bit of security I had. He pointed the gun at me as he was backing down off the porch, and he said, "Maven, I got you anytime I want you." That echoed in me. And that,
my God.
man, that still gets to me to this day. After that night, I never went to sleep until it was daylight in that house. And I never walked to and from my car without a firearm being on my hip. My life, my safety, the girl I was dating at the time, her life, her safety was in someone else's hands. This is definitely something that would never have happened had I not become a WWE wrestler. The third consequence of being a WWE wrestler is stress. There was never a more stressful time in my life than being on live television week after week. When you're up there in gorilla position and you're getting ready to go out and you go through that curtain, not only do you have thousands of people that you're performing in front of, millions of people at home watching, Vince McMahon in the back with Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe and whatever agent or producer put your match together critiquing you, but you know that you always have to perform at the highest level. And it was also stressful just knowing that other people's livelihoods, other people's health and safety was in my hands as well. I never wanted to go out and hurt anyone in any way. And Gene, I'm sorry about the forearm to the face. Although I can make an argument that it makes you look better. It's so stressful knowing that you can hurt somebody and hurt somebody seriously with every move if they're not done properly. Someone's livelihood can be affected and thus their ability to take care of their family. And another stress that would have never happened had I not been a WWE wrestler, the stress of looking the part. It takes a lot to go on week after week after week in essence, what is your underwear. I remember landing in different cities after long travel days. Maybe a flight was delayed, maybe a flight was canceled and I had to pick up another one. And I might have landed at midnight. You bet your bottom dollar at 1 o'clock I was in the gym. Why? Because it was my job, and also I was going to try to look as good as I could because I didn't want to have the stress of my body changing too much for the negative. There was one occasion where this stress really got to me. So I had a match with Christopher Nowinski, and it was a Monday Night Raw. Now, normally the following week I would have live events starting on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This week, we had no live events. So our next event was going to be an entire week later for that Monday Night Raw. Having these 3 extra days off during a week, that makes all the difference in the world. We had 6 minutes to go out there, and in my own opinion, I put out a stinker. I was going through the motions. I was probably thinking about an extended vacation, and I was looking forward to a few extra days at home. As soon as I came back through the curtain, who was there to greet me? But Vince McMahon. He told me during my break, I needed to decide if this was the career that I wanted to be in, because after putting a match like that out there for the public to see, it wasn't something that he was going to stand for. So a vacation that I was looking forward to, something that I was excited to have, turned into about a week of the most stressful situations that you can imagine.
Yo, I can relate in a bit, like, of course not on that level, but I have my livelihood in a company called YouTube, okay, and they know how to put out how to make your life miserable. So somehow, my luck, every time I plan a vacation, before the vacation, I already schedule videos. I work extra hard to double the content so I can schedule like 7 videos in advance, have everything set up so I don't have to think about anything, and I can actually enjoy my vacation, you know? And guess what happens? Bam! A strike, a 7-day strike where you cannot upload any videos. And like, you already maybe have a second strike, and now you only are missing 1 more strike for your whole career to disappear. And it always happens for me when I have to go to a vacation. Oh my God. I'm stressing out, I'm crying, I'm just thinking about the future, what to do. Thankfully, right now I have Patreon. I wish I started earlier. I literally just started last year with Patreon. Patreon.com/supportbunny is my Patreon. And if you are interested in supporting me there, that company is way better at handling these things. And it's more on one-on-one kind of thing with you guys. So it is way easier for me to be free with sharing content there than on YouTube. If you're interested in checking more WWE content, check out my Patreon. But yeah, let's get back to the video.
I promise you, when I came back with a changed attitude, and I made sure that even if it was a smaller match on Heat or Velocity, or a match early in Raw, I was going to put forth my best effort. Number 2 on our list is missing out on life events. We miss out on much stuff because we're on the road constantly. We're traveling almost 290 to 300 days a year, and that was my schedule. I can't even imagine what the top guys, the Cenas, the Rocks, the Austins, the Undertakers, I can't even imagine what their schedule was like. I never became a father, but my heart always went out to the guys that were running out to make a phone call, that were missing these once in a lifetime
that is
events.
so
because
hard.
when you miss your child's first steps,
Like
guess
Cody
what?
and Seth
They're not
right
going to
now
take that
with
first
their
step
kids.
over again for you. When you miss a birthday, yeah, they're going to say they don't mind, but deep down, they probably do care. They
Especially
want you
the
there
kids.
for all of it.
Like,
Now, for
I
me,
understand the mothers, like the wives, they do understand what goes through all of that with the career they have. And they think like, I'm gonna get my man back eventually. He's not gonna be doing this forever. But the kids grow up so fast, you guys, and the kids don't need the money. They need the memories. They need the time you spend with them. And every time you don't spend with them is a wasted time for them. It's a time that you prefer something else, not them. And that must hurt. And you know that. Like, as a parent, you know that, but you have to do what you have to do. And I feel like it makes you really sad. That sacrifice is so hard to make, you guys.
personally, the last 3 years of my mother's life, I was on the road for a lot of it. There was a lot of times when she needed to go to doctor's appointments. There was times when she needed to just probably have me around and I wasn't there. Obviously, she would have it no other way. Her son was living his dream, but now with her gone, there are times I'm never going to get back. And my number 1 consequence of being a WWE wrestler, dealing with my daily struggles with pain and my overall outlook on my health. Now, in the John Oliver video, I mentioned that there's a good chance I might not see 65. Trust me, I hope I do. I hope I see way past 65.
No way, really?
But the fact of knowing what I did to my body in my early 20s, I know I damaged it. Now when it comes to pain, I said it in previous videos. I'm sitting right now with 3 herniated bulging discs. I could probably go in and have neck surgery next week. Every morning I wake up in pain, and throughout the day, if I'm sitting wrong, if I sit in a position too long, even if I lay in one position too long, I'm gonna feel it the next day. I used to even have to set an alarm for the middle of the night because I was such a sound sleeper, but I didn't want to sleep only on one side, so my alarm would go off and I would switch over just to split up the amount of pressure that's from one side to the other. I remember being backstage and seeing, for lack of a better term, the old timers. Now I use that because I'm one now. But I remember seeing guys and they would be limping around or they'd be talking about how much they hurt. And I remember thinking, nah, that's never going to be me. There's no way. How do they not, jump up and just, feel great? How do some guys do it into their 50s, 60s? I'll be perfectly honest with you, I have no clue. I look at a guy like Hulk Hogan who has an entire cage in his back, who's had his entire spine realigned. I don't know how he even gets out of bed in the morning. My spine is bent somewhat, but it's nowhere near that bad. Now, when did I know that my body had been affected forever? It was around 2017. There was a weekend and it came on like a smack in the face. I could not move without being in excruciating pain. I would literally sit on my knees with my head facing straight down. It was the only way I could give myself a little modicum of relief through that entire weekend. And it was only in part thanks to stretching and yoga, thanks DDP, that I was able to learn techniques, learn measures that I could take to where I could live a somewhat normal life. I have to live with the fact that I'm forever going to be in pain, and there's a good chance that I have shortened the span of my life, but wrestling was worth it. Wrestling, as I have said before, it's my one true love. It's the one thing that I was happy to do, sad to see it go, and reminded about each and every day on how great it was, even with all of these consequences. One of the things that caused my pain and negatively affected my life expectancy was my use of steroids while in the WWE. To find out more about that, click above.
Oi, I didn't know that. Honestly, I was talking with one of my friends who watches WWE. I don't have a lot of those, by the way. And he said, I was like telling him, oh, do you think like these wrestlers nowadays are natural? Like, how can you be this big and natural? Like, and then he said like literally 90%, if not 99% of them use steroids and stuff like that, like some type of enhancement. I'm like, isn't that illegal? Didn't we make drama about that, like of the use of that? Or is it like fine if you share with people that you are using it? I don't know what's the case today. I don't know who are the wrestlers who are today in WWE that use steroids, if any, and is that even allowed? I would like to get more informed about that. If you have any comments, leave them down below and let's chit chat about it more. Teach a bunny a thing or two, you know? But yeah, I understand his love towards something. For him, wrestling is like, for me, sharing content with you guys, whether it is on YouTube, Patreon, or streaming on Twitch or other platforms. I just found this job, like I started it 10 years ago. It's been a decade since I've been doing this, and it became who I am. It became a part of my identity, something I love to do so much, something that I don't know who I would be without. And as my life, like my personal life, keeps going forward and expanding, and things are changing and my priorities are changing, I always find a way to go back to this because it is who I am, and also it is my job, it's my career, and I don't know what I would do without it. So finding the balance of personal life and having the time for your personal life as well as your work life is really hard when you don't have like a 9-to-5 job, or you don't have like a boss above you that tells you exactly what you have to do. Like, you have to organize yourself by yourself and find the time for everything, and that is so hard. I'm trying my best, believe me, but I'm trying not to miss out on life as well, because just living for your career is, at least for me, not enough, and it doesn't give me enough pleasure. Like, I feel like missing out, and I have a bad case of FOMO then. But that is it, guys, for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want more reactions, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and if you want to share extra love, then just copy the link. Copying the link helps out a lot. As I said, I stream on Twitch. I have a second YouTube channel. I have this YouTube channel as well as Patreon. I will leave a link in the description down below for everything that I mentioned. Have a wonderful day and see you soon. Bye!